welcome you to Saints of the Day on Lumen Christi TV. Today, the church honors John Francis Regis. John Francis Regis was born in France in the year 1597, and very early in life, under the gaze of his devout parents, Jean, who was a successful merchant, and Marguerite, he developed a keen interest for study and prayer. He was educated by the Jesuits, and so John Francis was so impressed by his Jesuit educators that he himself wished to enter the Society of Jesus. He eventually did so at the age of 18. And despite his rigorous academic schedule, he spent so many hours in chapel, often to the dismay of fellow seminarians who were concerned about his health. Following his ordination to the priesthood, he undertook missionary work in various French towns. His sermons revealed the fervor within him and attracted people of all classes to him. Father Regis especially made himself available to the poor. Many mornings were spent in the confessional or at the altar celebrating Mass, while his afternoons were reserved for visits to prisons and hospitals. The Bishop of Vivi at some point, observing the success of Father Regis in being able to communicate with people, sought to draw on his many gifts, especially needed during that prolonged civil and religious strife then rampant throughout France. With many prelates absent and priests negligent, people had been deprived of the sacrament for more than 20 years, and in some cases, there were various forms of Protestantism which was thriving, while a general indifference towards religion was also evident in other instances. For 3 whole years, Father John Regis walked throughout the diocese, and he succeeded in converting many people and in bringing many others back to religious observances. Though Father Regis launched to work as a missionary among the North American Indians in Canada, he was to live out his days working for the Lord in the widest and most desolate part of his native France. There he encountered rigorous winters. He encountered snow drifts and other deprivations. Meanwhile, he continued preaching missions, and he was able to earn a reputation as a saint even while he was still living. The last 4 years of his life were spent preaching and organizing social services, especially for prisoners, for the sick and the poor. In the autumn of the year 1640, Father John Regis sensed that his days were coming to an end. He settled some of his affairs and prepared for the end by continuing to do what he did so well, that is, speaking to the people about the God who loved them. So on December 31st, he spent most of the day with his eyes fixed on the crucifix, and that very evening he died. His final words were, "Into thy hands I commend my spirit." John Francis Regis was canonized in the year 1737. What can we learn from St. John Francis Regis? Our reflection continues after the break.
In this world, love seems so short-lived. People just care about themselves. Where can I find love that lasts forever? Is there someone I can count on? Until one day I encountered him. in His sight. He loves me with everlasting love. He has drawn me with loving kindness. Perfect love is the love of God. In His love there is no fearfulness. In God's love we can find peace, hope, and joy. We love because God first loved us.
Welcome back. Saints deal with plenty of discouragement, plenty of reasons to say life isn't fair, and wonder where God is in the rabble of their lives. Today, we honor saints like John Francis Regis because they show us that with God's grace and their cooperation, suffering can actually lead to compassion rather than to bitterness. John longed to travel to the New World and to become a missionary to the Native Americans, but he was called instead to work among his own compatriots. Unlike many famous preachers, he isn't remembered for golden-tongued oratory. What people who listened to him heard was his own fervent faith, and it had such a powerful effect on them. We can recall homilies who impressed us for the same reason. More importantly for us, we can also remember ordinary people. They could be neighbors or friends whose faith and goodness touched us and brought us to deeper faith. That is the calling most of us must follow. Let us pray. Lord God, fill us with your graces to emulate John Francis Regis amidst the difficulties of our life's journey. Grant us courage, grant us perseverance, and help us never to give up. Amen. Thanks for staying with us. It's been Saints of the Day on Lumen Christi TV.